My name is Lexi Jong, and here I like to talk about luxury beauty. And today we are going to be doing a get ready with me using a full face of Cle de Peau with some new to me items, as well as the newest foundation, the Radiant Fluid Foundation with the natural finish. And this has SPF 25, it's PA++, and this has 35 milliliters or 1.1 fluid ounces, has a 2-year shelf life, and I actually already have a full review on this video, so I'll leave that linked in the description box for anybody who's interested. But this is now available in the States. I had originally purchased mine from Harrods because it wasn't available here, and was ordering some other stuff anyway. But it is now available at Nordstrom and the Cle de Peau website, and will be coming to other retailers as well. So let's get started. All right, so on my face right now, I just have a skincare and sunscreen, and we're gonna use a little sample of the Sisley Double Tensor Primer. And this is what it looks like. So it has like a lightweight gel texture to it. Just gonna put that on. And the scent is, it's like most of Sisley skincare. If you're familiar with like the Sisley line and so forth, it has kind of that fresh cucumbery scent to it. This one's a little bit fresher than what you would smell in the skincare, but it's still, I smell like cucumber and maybe some floral stuff or something. But yeah, so that's this. It is a little tacky to the skin. Normally I like to use the Surratt Perfectionist primer, but I still haven't unpacked yet. So that's in there right now. And let's talk about the foundation. So the foundation, I use shade I-10, which works, that's pretty much the same shade I get in all of my Cle de Peau products. My favorite way to wear it is actually a 50-50 mix of the matte and the natural, but today we're going to use just the natural. And I actually forgot concealer, so let's start with that. Well, you know what? I can't find it. So maybe I packed that and I just didn't remember. So we're going to go straight off with the foundation, and I'm going to use the Chanel foundation brush. This is the brush that came with the Sublimage foundation. I really love this foundation brush. I wish they would sell this separately. It is synthetic. I like having this little like dome look here. So you can see how nicely this goes in the eyes. So normally I like to do my concealer, and I've been using the Cle de Peau Radiant Corrector for Eyes, and I put that on, use, brush on my finger to kind of smooth that out, and then I put the foundation on top. But you can see that this is going just fine. I think that's enough coverage. I'm not going with heavy coverage today. All right, I'm just gonna get what's left on my hand here, put that on. And that is 1 pump of the foundation here. And you can see that you get this like dewy glow. Now, of course, you can set this foundation with powder, if you want to. You don't need to. I'm gonna be using cream blush, so I'm not going to set it. I'm actually gonna take one of the Cle de Peau cream blushes. So number 4 is my go-to shade. I use it quite a bit. I've had it for a couple of years. I really love it. I picked up the rest of them. This one here is number 2. I think this one's called Cranberry. And let's just see. Here it is. And then look at how that blends out. Really, really pretty. So we're gonna put this on today, and I think I'm just gonna dab this on here, and I'm gonna use the foundation brush. Kind of smooth that. So I'm just pouncing with the brush. So the texture of this is really smooth and thin. It feels very weightless on the skin. These cream blushes, at least the number 4 that I have and love, last all day on me, even in the heat and so forth. They really perform well. They are my favorite cream blush. And And one of the other things I love about them is that they really can blend out very, very naturally. And even if I'm outside like sweating, the color remains. All right, so the blush was new to me. Foundation I've been using for a while, but it's a new product. And then I also picked up another new to me product from Cle de Peau, actually a couple more. And that's the eyeshadows. I have not tried their eyeshadows before. So when you purchase the Cle de Peau eyeshadows, you purchase a case separately if you would like a case. And then you purchase the actual eyeshadows, the refills separately. So it is pricey, you know, especially once you add them together. I think the case is like $25. And I want to say that the actual eyeshadow refill was like 50 or 55. So they're not cheap. But you can get these on sale during some of the department store, you know, offers and so forth. That's when I picked this up, when Macy's was doing like 15% off beauty. So you can get them on sale, and I would recommend that. So the eyeshadow one that we're using today is number 306. I have already used this once to kind of test it out. Case comes with a little velour pouch. You've got the little Cle de Peau logo here. It's a thin pouch. This is the actual packaging here on the case. You can see it's like a sapphire blue. Do you see that when the light hits it? And it's really pretty. So you've got a little button to depress here. Lift it up. You've got a full-size mirror. And then it does come with a little plastic piece on it. You can see that this plastic piece has a little hinge to go directly in here to protect it. And then you have two applicators. So you have one that is foam tip and brush, and another one that is dual-ended foam tip. And this one here, I'm trying to remember, I think this might be called Pewter Veil, but I'll have to double check the name, but it's number 306. And let's swatch these real quickly. So these are the 4 shades. You can see that they go on very smoothly. They are rich. The silvery shade, you can see, let's see, that's his finger. You can see that. You can shear that out. This is a matte black, which can also be sheared out. And then this one here, you can see is a satin shade. Look at that. That is kind of like, it's like, it's a soft brown with tones of pink in there. And then this first shade actually is more of like a very, very soft satin pink. You can see how lightly you can get that as well. But you can definitely see that this brown shade has some pink undertones in it. It's actually a little bit more on the cooler side. The tones in it, although there's pink in it, it's a cooler tone pink. So I think it's still relatively cool. So we're going to start off with the Sonia G Classic Crease into the peachy shade. This is, I mean, it's really light. You can barely tell that it's peach in the pan. You know, it's that light. It gives just a really soft wash. And I'm sticking this in the crease and buffing it up. We're going to deepen the crease as well, but I like to lay kind of like a light layer. And I don't have any primer on. I kind of forgot to put primer on. So there is the peach. You can see that it's very soft, shimmery, really nice for a highlight. And then we're going to add a touch of, let's add a touch of the brown. And I'm just getting a tiny bit on the brush on the very tip and very softly adding that to the crease. I think we're going to keep the eyes fairly light today. Just going to add a little bit more there. All right, and then I'm going to take a touch of this black and just a tiny bit, just going to dab that on the corner. You can see how pigmented that is because I really just got a tiny bit. I'm going to wipe this off just a little bit, not being super thorough, and just kind of blend into the crease a little bit as well. Okay, and next I'm taking the Sonia G Worker Pro. I'm going to go into the brown. And I'm going right here next to the black and slightly over those edges, but not all the way covering it. So just kind of making like a depth gradient. And then I'm going to go in with the silver. So same brush, just kind of slowly put that over. And I'm tapping over the entire lid here. So I swiped up until the brown and then tapped over everything else. All right, so that's gonna be it for the lids. And then I think to line the eyes, I wanna keep it soft and light, so I don't wanna use an actual eyeliner. I'm gonna actually just use the black here. So I'm taking the Sonia G Smudger 2 into the black, and I'm just going to stamp it along the lash line. So when I'm using powder shadow and stamping it, I always make sure that I start in the middle and work my way to the outer edge of the eye so that that part is deepest. And then I take what's left and move it to the inner half so that it can be a little bit softer there. And for the lower lash line, I wiped off the brush. I'm gonna go in with the brown and just put a little bit of that on here, keeping that close to the lashes. Okay, I wiped off the brush. I'm gonna take the side of it into the peachy shade. Just dab a little bit of that on the inner corner here for some brightening. You can see that made a big difference. All right, so there's that. And let's curl the lashes, add some mascara. I'll see you in a second. All right, so I added the Chanel Dimension Ultime de Chanel mascara. This is a website exclusive. It's a tubing mascara. It's okay. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. So I'm not gonna repurchase it, but it's not bad. And I think it's time to move on to lips. I also added the Gucci Brow Pencil in taupe, the original one, the powder one. And I picked up one of the Cle de Peau lip glosses based on a viewer recommendation. This is shade number 3, Charm. And let's see how this goes. I love the lip glorifiers, but I haven't tried any of their other lip products. And I have heard that Cle de Peau is redoing their lipstick line. So I didn't want to purchase any new lipsticks. I believe they're coming out like next year. So let's swatch Charm first and then I'll put that on. So here is Charm. Definitely my type of color. And this wand is pretty cool. Look at this. So it's actually like twisted. You see that? Kind of a spiral. So it felt kind of interesting going on. So this wand is actually really helpful to be curved like this because if you want to get more product, you turn it, and otherwise you can turn it like vertically to kind of wipe off if you've got too much. I really like that. You know, at first I wasn't really sure how to use it, and then you figure it out as soon as you start using it. But it's really nice that you can actually kind of remove excess product with this. I like that. So the gloss itself is very comfortable. It's not sticky or anything. And I can't tell if there's a scent. So if there is a scent to this, it's very faint. So yeah, I can't really smell it. You know, Cle de Peau is typically fairly fragrance. Like the foundations have a lot of fragrance. You know, I don't really notice it with the cream blush, don't notice it with the lip gloss, and I don't notice it with the eyeshadows. But other products that I've tried from them, you definitely smell that fragrance. If you've ever tried any of the Cle de Peau skincare or, you know, samples of it, it all kind of has that same scent. But these items I didn't really notice. So here's the color. You can see it's like a rosy nude shade, more rose than nude. And it's definitely my kind of shade. I really like this color a lot. All right, so thanks for getting ready with me. I'll back you out and then we'll just go over these products a little. All right, so just a recap of everything that we used today. The Sisley Double Tensor Primer. I think it's a nice primer. It's not one of my favorites, so I've never purchased a full-size bottle, but when I have samples, I do use those. I think it's nice, and it's supposed to have skincare benefits if you are using it regularly. I can't say that I've ever done that to really test that out, but you know, I pick a favorite primer and I just tend to use that one like all the time, and that didn't make the cut for me. The Cle de Peau foundation, this is in the natural finish. There are 24 shades of this available. You know, Nordstrom, I think they only have like the really fair shades in stock right now. The other ones were there originally, but those sold out quickly. And then Cle de Peau has all 24 shades as of my recording. So you know, definitely take a look. I find that the foundation shade for the natural finish, I'm just gonna put a little bit, and the matte finish end up working the same on the skin. You can see that there's a slight difference. This is natural and this is matte, and you can see that the matte looks a little bit deeper. But you know, it ends up, you know, they both work well on the skin. Like, I think once you like kind of shear it out, that it kind of, you know, both shades work, and I can't tell a difference on my skin when I use both of those. And again, my favorite way to use this foundation is actually to use the two of these mixed. I love a 50-50 mix of the matte and the natural finish. I think it gives me the perfect velvety satin finish to my skin. You can see the natural on its own has more of that dewy, hydrated look to it. And it's dewy without being like shimmery or greasy feeling. And this foundation really does last all day on me. I have to say that it's been a favorite. So if you haven't checked out my favorites so far, 2021, check those out. I'll leave that link down below if you're interested, but I think it's a fantastic product. I like it better than the matte, but my favorite, again, is to mix the two together. Moving on to the cream blush in shade number 2. I think the formula is great. It gives you a really natural look. It's super easy to blend out. They last all day on me, and there are only 4 shades. They are expensive. I have to say that the shade number 4 that I have is, I don't know, somewhere around 2 years old so far, and there has been no issues with texture or, you know, scent or anything like that. So as for the blush, it's made in Japan and it has a 2-year shelf life, and it's 6 grams or 0.21 ounces. Sounds like it's super small. You can see what it looks like here, but I have to tell you, it's gonna last forever because you really use just the tiniest bit at a time. And let me show you how much I have left of number 4 after 2 years. So this is my number 4. And you can see I've got like a divot in there, but I've actually used this a lot. And you can see even after 2 years, it's not coming away from the sides. It's not dry or cracked or anything like that. And it's really pretty. Let me just swipe this shade next to it. Number 4 is called Perfect Peach. So that's that one. It's like the perfect nudie peach shade. I'm pretty sure 2 is cranberry. You know, while we're at it, let's go ahead and add a little highlight. This is actually the holiday highlighter from Cle de Peau last year. And yeah, I'm just gonna take the Kyoto Premium Fan Brush, just put a little bit of this on here. The highlighters from Cle de Peau, this is the only one I have, but you can see that they're pretty subtle. This one has a little bit of a blue glow to it, but they really do, you know, they add a little something without being too disco ballish, and yet they don't seem to accentuate any texture or anything because they are subtle enough. I think they're really beautiful. I'd like to try more shades of them, but I haven't done that yet. I should have picked one up during the Cosbar sale. They had them, was waffling, and then they sold out. And last up, the eyeshadows. Again, this is my second time wearing it, so I have already done, like, I've already tested the wear on these, and they hold up just fine for me. I haven't had any issues with the formula. I think they're beautiful. You can see there is a little like kick up in the pan, but I don't really have fallout when using these. I think they're gorgeous. Again, this particular one is number 306. Pretty sure it's Pewter Veil. And I think it is a really, really pretty color story. And I like the formula. I like the finish. I was a little worried that these would be like super light and super sheer. The holiday one that I picked up last year was a very, very, very light. And this is not like that. It's actually it's a little bit creamier than the eyeshadow palette from 2020 holiday. And you can see it's obviously much more pigmented. They're really easy to blend, really easy to work with. I do plan on picking up more of these. So I'm not sure, you know, if lipsticks are being redone. I'm not sure if these are going to start being redone. I know some of the shades are getting harder to find. So just a heads up, but I am planning on picking up more of these. Now, as for the lip gloss, I really like the lip gloss. It has more of like a gloss lip oil kind of texture, more of that hybrid texture. So it's thin, it feels hydrating, it's not sticky at all. And I personally really love this color, which is number 3 Charm. And I think it is gorgeous and it's very, very comfortable and light on the lips, but it doesn't bleed. And I have to say this wand is awesome. I really, really like how the wand twists, and it's just more functional than the typical lip gloss wand. I don't think I've ever heard anybody talk about it, but I love this wand. And of course the packaging is nice on this as well. So I think that sums up everything. And you know, other staples I used, the Gucci brow pencil, the powder one. I love that pencil. I think it's a great product. I use the Chanel Ultime Dimension Ultime mascara, the 2-in-1 exclusive to the website. It's an okay product, you know, just kind of meh for me. But I think that's it. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'd love to know what you think. If you have used many Cle de Peau products, any recommendations you would have for future ones. I do have the other 2 shades of the cream blush that I haven't opened yet. I'm trying to space those out so, you know, they don't go bad once I open them. And that's everything. So thank you so much. If you enjoyed this, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll see you very soon. Have a great day.